On the afternoon of the 22nd of November, 1963, President John F. Kennedy was not wearing a football helmet. But suppose one period-correct Dallas Cowboys helmet had been placed on his head. Would that thin white shell have changed the most examined few seconds in American history? To answer that, we need three things: where the bullet struck, what the helmet actually covered, and what it was built to stop. The Warren Commission concluded that the fatal bullet came from behind and above, entering the rear of Kennedy's head and exiting through the right side. The later House Select Committee placed the entry point somewhat higher, in the right rear cowlick area. Those official findings disagree on the precise spot. For this question, however, they share one important feature: both locations sit beneath the rear and crown coverage of a properly fitted football helmet of the period. So the helmet probably would have been in the bullet's path. That is the strongest part of the case for survival. It is also where the case begins to collapse. A professional football helmet in the early 60s was not a miniature suit of armor. Its outer shell was semi-rigid plastic. Inside, fabric suspension straps held the shell away from the skull, creating a small space in which the helmet could flex and spread the force of a tackle. This was clever equipment for its time. It helped manage the broad, blunt impacts of helmets, shoulders, turf, and knees. It was also designed to survive those impacts repeatedly. But the shell was thin. There was no ballistic laminate, no aramid weave, no ultra-high molecular weight polyethylene, and no firearm rating. The first widely adopted performance standard for football helmets would not arrive until the following decade. In other words, this helmet was engineered for collision, not penetration. The projectile was a full metal jacket, 6.5mm rifle bullet weighing about 160 grains. At roughly the assassination distance, government tests recorded velocities close to 1900 feet per second. That works out to around 1.7 kilojoules of kinetic energy. The precise figure is less important than how that energy arrives. A football impact spreads force across a comparatively broad area in a longer fraction of a second. A rifle bullet concentrates enormous energy onto a point scarcely wider than a pencil. Webbing can slow a shell moving inward. It cannot turn thin plastic into armor. The most relevant experiments were conducted for the Warren Commission at Edgewood Arsenal. Investigators fired matching ammunition from the assassination rifle into reconstructed skulls at almost the same range. The results reproduced the defining features of the fatal head injury. The skull itself deformed the bullet and absorbed enough energy to produce catastrophic damage. Now place a thin plastic shell in front of that system. The overwhelmingly likely result is not a clean ricochet. It is perforation, cracking or shattering, followed by a projectile that still carries lethal energy. The helmet might alter the bullet's shape or yaw. It might add fragments of its own. None of those effects amounts to reliable protection. There is one narrow uncertainty. A curved shell can meet a bullet at an oblique angle. A strike near an edge, ridge, or metal fitting could change the projectile's direction. In a very particular alignment, even a small deflection might change the wound. That possibility is not zero. But it cannot be estimated from photographs alone. A serious test would need an authentic helmet, correct ammunition, properly positioned headform and repeated shots. Without that experiment, dramatic ricochet is merely possible, not probable. And even if the shell somehow prevented penetration, survival would still not be guaranteed. Ballistic helmets are tested for the inward deformation left behind when they stop a projectile, because transferred energy can itself cause devastating injury. So, would a 1963 Dallas Cowboys helmet have saved John F. Kennedy? Almost certainly not. It probably covered the point of entry. It may have disrupted the bullet. But its plastic shell and web suspension were built to soften tackles, not defeat full-power rifle ammunition. The only honest sliver of doubt is an unrepeatable glancing deflection, a lucky change in angle, not protection the helmet was designed to provide. The helmet was in the right place. It was simply built for the wrong threat.